Hey everyone, and welcome to YarnGasm. I'm Kristen, and this is episode 174 or 75. I'm not quite sure because I did not podcast last week, so I'm a little bit out of the loop. As you know, last week was Thanksgiving here in the United States, so I hope everyone had a wonderful, happy, delicious Thanksgiving. Got to spend time with family, friends, and just eat lots of food, and just an overall great time. I will give you a recap of my weekend at the end of the episode, but it was quite eventful. I'm honestly feeling a little bit burnt out. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, me and Dennis and I had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We just ended up doing a lot of things. So this weekend, I'm just feeling a little bit more run down. But anyway, I will talk about that at the end of the episode. And now, as you can see, I have the tree up. Yes, we are into December already, and I cannot believe we've been at our new place for over 6 months now. I believe we moved in April, like late April, early May. And yeah, time is really flying and it's almost a little bit scary. But I feel like that's always the case. Anyway, December happened, I brought out the tree and I decorated accordingly. And I found pink lights at our local, there's a dollar store in our neighborhood. So I found that they had pink lights and I was like, yes, those are going on the tree. Because the previous lights that I've been using, which were multicolored, those I think got lost in the move. So I had to get new lights. But anyway, I have the tree up. I'm very excited about it. This is my office tree. Lots of the ornaments are actually hand knit. I think I have like 4 birds of happiness on there, and then I have one seahorse, which is my favorite. I love knitting seahorse ornaments. They're a lot of fun to knit as well. And then I have 2 other that were hand knit from friends, and yeah, I think it's just going to be a yearly thing. I didn't do the ornamental long this year. Last year I did an ornamental long cal, just knit as many ornaments as you can, and yeah, I just never got around to it this year, and I'm kind of kicking myself because it was so much fun. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do like a crash knit along. Whoever wants to, leading up until Christmas, whoever wants to just join in and knit some ornaments, let's do it. Because I definitely have some ornaments that I still have to knit. So not a lot, but some as gifts. Because I'm not doing large knitted gifts this year. I find ornaments are a happy medium for me. Or a nice small quick project to give away as a bonus gift or something. I'll post about that in the Ravelry thread. I should make a note of that, but I'll remember. Yeah, if not, just remind me. And I'm totally scattered. I have not been sleeping well this week, and hence why I'm a little bit late with the podcast this week. Normally I record on Wednesdays or Thursdays. It's Friday. I'm supposed to do a shop update today. I pushed that till tomorrow. Because I am feeling quite burnt out. I did not get, plus, on top of it, I did not get enough sleep the previous night because I got food poisoning. Yay! So I'm fine. I just woke up with a really bad stomach ache and got a late start on things. And yesterday, I was just like, Kristen, listen to your body. Give yourself the afternoon off. Knit, because I didn't get any knitting done while we were away for Thanksgiving. So I just gave myself the afternoon, watched some podcasts, drank tea, and just, enjoyed a little bit of knitting time, which was really, really nice. But anyway, what else did I want to mention? Oh yes, and since I did not podcast last week, I did do a little bonus episode because many of you have been asking me about wanting to see how I knit. And so I just did a little quick video of me knitting and purling, although I am not really happy with the way it turned out, because it was almost kind of like, I think I did it a little bit too quickly. I didn't really get to show you how I thread the yarn through my fingers or do it in slow motion. I just kind of like showed how I knit on the fly, just the way I knit. And many of you loved seeing it and have actually asked me to just kind of do a quick demo of how I thread the yarn through my fingers because I knit with my right hand, which is I believe it's English style, and continental is with the right hand. Yeah, I think that's how it is. But yeah, I will gladly show you that later in the episode when I'm showing you what I'm working on. And maybe I think I will do a redo of that video. But I'm glad that you all liked it. I got a lot of great feedback from it, and yeah. So, but knowing that you wanted to see a little bit more, see it in slow motion and the threading, I might do a redo of that. Um, but yes, let me have a sip of tea. uh, this is in my Hurdy mug, and I am drinking this really awesome. This comes but once a year. Celestial Seasonings Gingerbread Spice. And I saw it, Dennis and I went to Wegmans and they just had a whole sale on tea. And I went a little crazy. I filled up the shopping cart with a lot of tea. And then I was like, yeah, no. And I was looking at the flavors and I'm like, this is probably the one that I'm going to drink the most. So I destashed the tea out of my cart and just came away with this one. And yeah, I really, really enjoy it. I love spicy teas, ones with like a lot of flavor. And this one's wonderful. It does taste like a gingerbread cookie. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. Okay, so I'm looking at my show notes over there. I will, finished objects. This is going to be a really lame segment because I don't have the finished objects to show you. But if you were watching the tutorial on how I knit, I was knitting on the barley hat for my nephew, because it's been a while. I think the last thing I knit for my nephew was when he was born. I knit him a little sweater. I don't even remember what it was called, but I think it was by Elena Dacos. It was, just a very simple rolled collar cardigan, and that was the last thing I knit for him. And the boy is like 4 years old now, so I thought it was time to knit him something else. So I cast on a barley hat using Jinx Yarns, her merino worsted yarn in the fantasy colorway. And silly me did not get a photo of my nephew wearing it, which really stinks. I wanted to, but it was just, he was so in the moment. He was excited to get it. He loved it. He put it on. He wore it around for like a minute and a half, but then he was so excited about Thanksgiving, he put on his paper pilgrim hat back on. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to let him have fun right now. I'm not going to like pressure him into doing a photo. He wants to wear that hat right now. That's totally cool. I'll get it later. I never got the photo. So Matt or Janice, if you're watching, those are his parents. If you happen to get a photo of him wearing the hat, please send it along my way. I would love it. But yeah, the barley hat is a free pattern by Tin Can Knits. Wonderful. I whipped it up in, I would say, less than 4 hours. Even less if I had more, more free time. But it was such a wonderful, quick knit. I could definitely see myself knitting more of these. They make wonderful presents. And yeah, so, and yay. So finished object there. And the other finished object, which I do not have to show you, that went to Laura, that of Jinx Yarns, actually. We did an ornament swap. So that is coming to you in the mail. And yeah, it's an ornament. So I won't ruin the surprise, but I knit that. So I had one ornament. It was a seahorse. So yay, that should be coming to you soon. But anyway, so that's another finished object that I don't have to show you. So, but anyway, yeah. So, okay, let me have another sip of tea and I'll put it down. Again, a little loopy this week because I did not get any sleep this week. It feels like 2 nights in a row. I was just in and out, and I could use a really good night's sleep tonight. Last night was better, but not great. Anyway, so okay, on the needles, I am very close to finishing Dennis's socks, and they're living in my ball gown project bag, which has a lot of cat hair on it because my cat apparently likes to sit on it. But yeah, and oh, by the way, before I get into that, a lot of you have been contacting me about this fabric and creating more project bags. I have great, awesome news. I ordered more fabric. So that is of this, along with some others, the metallic trees. So I will be getting more of those, or I will be sewing more of those project bags to have in the shop very soon. But just, side note, I will talk about that in shop update. But yes, more fabric coming soon. So there will be more of these. Yay! I bet you're all excited now. Okay, so this is the finished sock. I finished knitting the first sock of Dennis's holiday socks that I'm knitting for him because the boy needs a new pair of socks. He tried on a pair of socks that I knit him eons ago. It was a pair of Cakewalk yarns out of the goodness, what colorway was that? I know Diane talked about it. She has the same colorway. I watched an episode of the Suburban Stitcher podcast, and she is actually, I think she knitted something out of it already, or she was knitting with, or she is currently knitting something with it. But it was an older colorway. Weenie, that's the colorway. Okay, so I knit him a pair of vanilla socks out of Weenie years ago, back when Cakewalk Yarns was still dyeing yarn. Just sad she should come back. But anyway, those sadly have been through the wash and they've shrunk way too much. And he tried putting them on today and he's like, yeah, I think these have seen their day. So these could not be coming at a better time. So yes, first sock done. I'm just knitting a pair of cuff down, Fish Lips Kiss Heel, plain vanilla socks with a, plain simple Kitchener stitch toe decrease. And these are on top drawer, Skein Yarns top drawer sock in the Savannah colorway. And I am about halfway done with the second sock. So I've been getting a lot of knitting done on these. And I'm just at the heel right now. I think I did maybe 2 stitches in. So yeah, but yeah, they're getting done. I think these will be done before we go away on vacation. If I'm not getting ahead of myself, maybe I will have them done by this weekend. No promises, but anyway. So while I have some working yarn in front of me, I might as well just show you how I thread the yarn through my hands. And as I mentioned, I knit with my right hand, English style. So yeah, the way I thread the yarn is I drape the working yarn over my right ring finger, and then I bring it under my right middle finger, and then over and around my my pointer finger. So I wrap it around twice. So it looks like this. See that? And this is how it looks underneath. So I'll do that again. But yeah, I drape it over my right ring finger, under my middle finger, and then wrap it around twice around my finger, my pointer finger. So, and this is a little too far away, only because I did it slowly. When you build the muscle memory, it just goes like, or hang on, hang on. Okay, so, and I like to keep my finger as close as I can to the tip of the needles and also my stitches, because then it goes a lot quicker. And I find I knit quite quickly holding the yarn this way. Even though I learned how to knit with my left hand, I took a craftsy class on learning how to knit quicker using Continental. I find while I can knit relatively quickly with this hand, it's not, my gauge is thrown way off. And I just find, yeah, and it's just much looser when I knit with my left hand. Excuse me. But yeah, I just find I knit very quickly holding the yarn this way. So it, I'm totally happy knitting this way. It's no problem for me at all. It doesn't strain my wrist at all. And I even researched on YouTube, like out of curiosity one day, like the quickest knitter in the world. I believe it's a woman in Scotland, and she knits the same, like pretty much relatively the same way that I do with her right hand. So again, there's no right or wrong way to knit. Everyone has their own style. It's just whatever you're comfortable with. But yeah, this is how I do it. So if that helps you, have a more comfortable situation with your knitting or speed up your knitting, yay, awesome. I'm so glad that will help you. But yeah, give it a try. So yeah, this is where I am with Dennis's second sock. So that's coming along very nicely. So back in the project bag you go. And next up is, drum roll, where'd it go? My stone cutter, which is still living in my Homespun House project bag, which it's getting big. My sweater is growing, and I just love the way that looks. It's just folded up so neatly and lovely in this big bag. I can still zip it up. It's just, I'm always working on it, so yeah, I just don't zip it up. But yes, the back is done as I showed you last week, and this is the Stone Cutter pullover by Michelle Wong, and the yarn is Quince & Company Lark in the Damson colorway, which is just this really nice like purple gray, like slate charcoal, purple, gray, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, the back is done. And I'm working on the front, which is coming along very well. I mean, there are a couple of, there were sections where I had to fudge it a little bit, but you cannot tell at all where those happened. And I have to say, I am very proud of myself for getting as far as I have with this pattern. Because yeah, it is no picnic, you guys. It's definitely a challenge, a labor of love, and I am just so proud that I've been able to stick it out and enjoy it. Actually, it's not like I'm pulling my hair out or crying every night knitting on this. It's actually, I'm finding it to be a relatively enjoyable knit. And I finished the first what do you call it? I finished the setup section. I know there's like the cast on, the ribbing, where it's a tubular cast on, so that's done. And then there's one setup chart that I completed, and now it's on to the main body of the pattern, and then the arm decreases, and I will have a front, and then I just have to knit the sleeves. Ideally, the goal was to have it finished for my trunk show in one. It's coming up not this weekend, but the following weekend. But yeah, that is totally not going to happen. But I would love to have this done before I go away on vacation, which will be I'll be away like Christmas through New Year's. So yeah, it would be really nice to have like a vacation pullover, because it will be cold in Italy apparently. So I hear. I've never been, but that's the word on the street, especially in Venice. Venice apparently gets very cold. So it would be nice to have this done by then. So yeah, you can tell I've been pretty monogamous on this and the socks, and that's all that I've worked on these past 2 weeks. So that is that. And let me see, what was I gonna say? Yeah, and I'm a little nervous that I might not have it, that I need more yarn for this. Although I think I will just have enough. If I did the math correctly, I should have enough yarn. But yeah, I feel like the back took about maybe three and a half skeins of Quince & Co. So that's 7 skeins for the back and the front. And then I have 8, 9, 10. I have like 4 skeins left for the sleeves. I don't know, you guys. I'm going to finish the back, or I'm going to finish the front and see where I am. And then if I have to like crash order some more yarn, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. But anyway, I should probably just order some now, so just to be safe. And if I have more, I'll have more yarn to knit something else, like a hat or mittens. Matchy matchy. Okay, so I should probably, well, it'll take a while for me to fold this up and put it back, but I think that is it. So as I mentioned, that's all I've been working on. I've been a very monogamous knitter these past couple weeks. So the sock, yeah, that's what I've been working on. Dennis's mittens that I cast on, the 34th and 8th mittens by Spilly Jane. Those, yeah, I frogged those. Last time I showed them to you, I was knitting them on a US size 2 because the pattern was sized only for an average woman's hands. And because I was knitting them for Dennis, I decided it only made sense to go up a needle size to make the gauge bigger. Turns out it was way too big. Molly actually let me know. She's like, Kristen, you better double check to make sure that those are, going to be, or everybody that I showed the mittens to, they're like, yeah, those are going to be way too big. And they were way too big. So I was like, all right, let's try this again with size US 1s. But at that point, I really lost steam. I wasn't excited about it anymore, which really stinks. And I didn't want to waste any time on them if I'm not excited. And yeah, and not only that, if I'm being totally honest, I was knitting them out of Brooklyn Tweed Loft, but I have to be honest, I'm not crazy about Brooklyn Tweed yarn. It's a lovely yarn, it looks lovely knit up, but working with it, I'm not a fan. I don't like that it's so fragile. I don't like that it's, I just don't like the hand of it. It's a little too rustic for my taste. and I feel like every project that I knit with it never gets finished. Like I have the lattice shawl that I cast on by Maria from Stitched in Sweden, which is a beautiful pattern. I was really liking it, but not knitting on it with that yarn. So sadly, that one is going to get frogged, and I'm on the lookout for some new yarn to knit that because I want a lattice shawl. It's a beautiful pattern. So sadly, those have been frogged. And then the other thing, what else did I do? Let me see. Oh yeah, and I know my goal for 2016 is knit larger garments and not so many socks. I think I'm gonna have a hard time not doing that because I like knitting socks. They're fun. They're great go-to projects when you don't know what to knit or just don't have time to focus all your attention on more involved projects. But yeah, my goal for 2016 was focus on larger garments because I feel like I have way too many socks on the go and I want to knit more sweaters. I really do because I definitely do not knit enough. But a lot of like podcasts that I've been watching, specifically I was watching Laura from the Fawn Knits yesterday, and she was knitting a pair of socks out of Jinx Yarn Gingerbread House. I happen to have the same yarn, and this was a gift from Laura from Jinx Yarn when she came to visit me. And yeah, I was kind of debating whether or not to hold off until next Christmas to cast these on, but then after seeing Laura from the Fawn Knits working on hers with contrasting strawberry pink heels and toes, I was like, okay, I think I need to cast on a pair. Even though I'm still working on my sweater, even though I'm still working on a pair of socks for Dennis, these might have to get cast on. And I do have some white, I have plenty of white yarn. Hand dyer, yeah. So I might cast these on. Yeah, I think it's gonna happen, especially because I also watched Isabel from Fluffy Fibers and Danny from Little Bobbins. Danny especially, she's always knitting her socks with contrasting heels, cuffs, and toes. And Isabel finally bit the bullet, or took the plunge, not bit the bullet. She took the plunge and cast on a pair of socks with contrasting heels and toes. So I think I want in on the fun, you guys. It has to happen. I'm just surrendering to the sock fairy, whatever you want to call it. What do you call that? Anyway. Okay, so, oh, and also I wanted to mention the Countdown to Winter Cal that I am hosting, which is basically a featherweight knit along, but it started the first day of fall and it's ending the first day of winter, which is December 22nd. So if you haven't joined in and you feel like you could crank out a featherweight cardigan by December 22nd, feel free to, because yeah, I have lots of prizes to give away. I showed them off on a couple of episodes, but I think I will wait until maybe next week to show off what prizes we have. But we have a lot, and oh my gosh, yeah, both the chatter thread and the non-chatter thread, all the photos and everybody participating has just been amazing and just so wonderful to watch everyone's progress. And yeah, it's just been a really fun thing to follow. And I'm so glad that there were so many people excited to join in. And I'm so excited. So yeah, okay. But yes, I will close the thread on December 22nd and announce the giveaway winners in the following episode that I record after that date. So yay, good luck everybody, yay. Okay. I had to make that announcement because it's been a while since I mentioned the Cal. But anyway, okay. Stash acquisitions, stash enhancements. Well, I don't have a lot to show you. I have been spoiling myself just a little bit, or as Jenny from the Tiny Paper Foxes likes to call it, wool piggery. Because yeah, I feel like every time the holidays roll around, I kind of give myself permission to go a little crazy and treat myself to some fiber-related goodies. And I have a lot of stuff coming in the mail. And yeah, sorry. But it's a little bit delayed, which is expected because it's the holidays. But I do have some stuff coming. But one thing that I'm really excited about that came in the mail a couple weeks ago is this Turkish spindle by Turtle Made Spindles. And I've been wanting to try her spindles for quite some time. I've had my eye on them. And the thing that's really cool about her spindles is that they're 3D printed. And you can choose different colors, different color arms and, you know, a shaft. And you're probably thinking, well, if you could choose different colors, why did you just go with white? That's kind of boring, Kristen. Well, the cool thing about this spindle is that it glows in the dark. So yeah, I could not resist, because why not? Why not have a glow in the dark spindle? I mean, it could be, there could be a blackout, worst case scenario. All you have are candles, so you just, you know, charge it up, and then you have yourself a spindle, and you can see what you're doing. So it could save your life. Yeah. Anyway, so, but yes, and the other cool thing, I did a tutorial on how I spin on my drop spindles a couple weeks ago as well. But right after that, I found this amazing blog post. I forget what it is, but I will put it in the show notes. And she shows you how to wrap your singles to create this really cool pattern. And I think this is what they mean by a turtle shell weave, because it creates this really cool pattern where it looks like the top of a turtle shell. You can see that. But this just makes me love spinning on Turkish spindles even more, because, you know, while I love spinning on drop spindles, I feel like this is actually, you're creating art, even though the main art is coming after you apply it, after you apply your singles. Does that make any sense? So it's keeping you engaged, and it's almost hypnotic, I will say. It's like you're just creating this beautiful work of art around a spindle, and then, you know, so if you're like one of those, what do you call it, a product knitter or spinner, this will definitely hold your attention, because you just get so mesmerized by wrapping it around, and it's so easy. It still has the same concept of like over two, under one, over two, over one, but instead of going, you know, just, the trick or the key is to go, when you go over two, you go around. So if you're coming from here, you're going around this one and coming around that one, and you go around the shaft as opposed to you go behind the shaft as opposed to in front of the shaft, if that makes sense. And is it even called a shaft? I think it's called a cop. Yeah, I don't know. Again, my terminology is a little off this week. I will do research and correct myself in the show notes. So anyway, but really love it. Again, I would definitely love to try some of her other spindles, because I will say this spins beautifully. I mean, when you think 3D printed spindle, you're kind of thinking, is it a gimmick? Is it a novelty? I highly recommend this. If you're thinking about it, it spins beautifully. I have no problems with it, and I definitely will be back for more. Especially because this one only, this is her mini Turkish spindle. It only cost me about $10 US, and yeah, it's a wonderful spindle. So, you know, not that expensive, or, you know, it's not a huge investment. So, which makes it easy for me to just go back and buy more. Dangerous. But anyway, so I'm really having fun with that. And yes, I do have more stuff coming down the pike. But I did receive a really, 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 really lovely package from Anissa, who is Nitty Loves Blue on Ravelry. And she contacted me and wanted to know if she could send me just a little gift, and, you know, little turned out to be quite big. Anissa, she also has the, oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, goodness, I want to get this right. Hang on. Yes, she's Nitty Loves Blue on Ravelry, and she has the Luna Bear Likes Yarn podcast, and she's an awesome podcaster. She's very young, but yeah, girl knows her stuff. So I was, you know, get caught up with her podcast yesterday while I was working, and it was just a really fun and enjoyable episode to watch, and her dog Luna is just really, really adorable. So yeah, Anissa, hello. And yes, she sent me some, oh goodness, I left the minis that she sent downstairs. And she sent me some really fun nail polish, but she sent me some really beautiful yarn. She sent me this really gorgeous skein of Madeline Tosh, which is Gentler Times, which is just like this really shocking magenta. Not a really gentle magenta, but it's really, really beautiful. And it's Tosh Merino Light, which is, yeah. I have another skein in my stash, which I think might go with this, but oh, so pretty. So thank you. And then she sent me this other skein by the Little Mountain Yarn Company, which I've never heard of actually, in the cotton candy colorway. And it's glitter sock, 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. And it does actually look like cotton candy with speckles, and it is so, so fun. And these two go together. Yeah, these two. I don't know. It might make a cool doodler shawl, which I've been seeing a lot of photos of, and I'm not gonna jump on that bandwagon until the pattern is completely out, because I want to see what I'm getting myself into. I'm not a mystery knit along person at all. And especially Laura from the Fawn Knits, she recently frogged her. She didn't like where it was going. So see, I don't want to get myself in that pickle. Um, just yeah. So I just don't do mystery knit alongs, unfortunately. Though they seem fun. Knowing me, I just end up frogging them. But where'd the tag go for this one? Okay, here we go. And then the second one she gave me is this caked up skein of Julie Spins, who I love. I knit with Julie Spins yarn a while ago. The Raven's Nest Shawl by Judy Marples, who is spinning knitter on Ravelry. She's a really awesome pattern designer, one of my favorites. So check her out, side note. But yes, she sent me a skein of Dust Bowl Quilt by Julie Spins, which is, it's the Euro sock, which is 100% superwash merino. And it almost reminds me of Stellar Banshee a little bit. It's got yellows, it's got pinks and grays. So yeah, that's really, really fun. Thank you so much, Anissa. That was super generous, incredibly generous of you. Thank you for thinking of me. And yeah, I really, really appreciate it. You really did not have to do that, but thank you. Yay. So I might have something coming your way. Just, FYI. But anyway, but yes, check out her podcast. She's adorable, super funny and smart. And the podcast is called, what is it? Why can't I remember anything? Luna Bear Likes Yarn. Okay. So, yes. Okay, so that is it for stash enhancements. I am going to move on to Ask Away, because I do have a question in there. Taddy Stars on Ravelry asks, she says, "Hi Kristen, I'd love to hear more about how you got into sewing and what you'd consider starter supplies. I have a sewing machine and I have attempted a few projects, but then so much time goes by that I forget how to use it. I want to get started and not be intimidated for once." And that's the first part of her question. I actually did answer this question in, I believe, the last episode or the one before it. So definitely check those out. I will link to it in the show notes just so you have an easy point of access to that. But yeah, so I definitely cover that. And I think the main thing is, always, I know Jenny from Tiny Paper Foxes has, sew for 20. If you can just set aside, maybe not every day, but maybe once a week, just block out. If you know you can't get sewing done, or create a big project, just block out, maybe 20 minutes a week, or, set some time aside for yourself just to do a little sewing, because the more you do it, the better you get at it. At least that's what I find. Sorry about that. At least that's what worked for me. But yeah, the second part of her question is also, I've heard you mention a few times that you drink wine. Really? What is your favorite or go-to wine? I'm a big wine drinker and always looking to try new ones. Okay, yes, I do enjoy drinking wine every now and then. And actually, I think it's the only real adult beverage I really enjoy drinking. I definitely do not do the hard stuff or... yeah, I mean, if anything, I do appreciate whiskey or rum, but wine I think is my thing. That's my go-to adult beverage. But yes, I mainly enjoy white wines, especially the dry ones. So my favorite is Sauvignon Blanc. And then, that's pretty much my favorite one. Like anything that's like dry, I don't enjoy sweet wines at all. It's just too much for me, I think. But yes, I love Sauvignon Blanc. I love Pinot Grigio. Although recently not so much. I don't know why. I just find it, I don't know. It doesn't really make my heart sing. Chardonnays occasionally, but mainly I would say Sauvignon Blanc. And yes, when I do enjoy red, I do enjoy the more spicy dry red. So I definitely love Malbec and Syrahs. I love drinking Syrahs with Indian food, or just like yeah, I feel like it goes well with spicy, even though some people are like, well, if this food's spicy, you should go with something a little more tame. I don't know. I just say bring it on. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I like. I don't have any specific brands that I'm, like, oh my gosh, you must try this. But I will say, Goats du Rhum, they make a really good red wine. I don't think it's specifically anything. I think it's just like a table red. They make a table red and a table white, which Dennis and I, we both enjoy it. It just has like a really spicy, smoky flavor to it. We usually get that when we go out to eat. And I know Barefoot, they make a really good, they have a couple of good selections, which, you don't have to spend like a lot of money on a bottle of wine. There are some really good, you can get a decent bottle from anywhere from like $5 to $10, that tastes very good, which we do all the time when we, if we go out to eat. Some of the places we go to are bring your own bottle of, wine, which is lovely. So yeah, that's generally what we tend to go for. So I hope that answers your question. So, okay, back to the knitting, because I'm going to talk about shop update. So yes, shop update. I'm a little bit late this week. I was supposed to have one today, but gave myself the afternoon off yesterday. So shop update will be pushed to tomorrow, Saturday, December 5th, at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it seemed that time worked out really well last time I did it, so I'm going to roll with it. But going forward, I think the two Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time seems to be a happy medium. I know I can't make everybody happy. I know some international customers were wondering if I could jumble up the update schedule, but I feel like the 2 p.m. slot is just a better time slot, because if I move it, someone always complains. If I don't move it, someone complains. But I just feel like that time slot is what is the best for the majority of people that can make the shop update. So I apologize if it doesn't work out for you. But yeah, and I know I said I'm not taking shop updates. Blah, blah, blah. I know I said that I'm not doing custom orders. But if you do need a sweater's quantity worth of yarn, I am accepting custom orders for a specific colorway up to 4 skeins or more. So if you have pattern needs that require more than 4 or more skeins, please feel free to contact me and I will see if I can work something out. But at this point, it's the holidays, so I can't guarantee that I will get the yarn to you before Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever holiday that you celebrate. So my recommendation would be to wait until after the new year to contact me about custom orders. But if you need something, just let me know and I will see what I can do. Because yeah, I am going on vacation, so I can't guarantee that I will get it out to you on time. But yes, that said, and I also want to mention that the last update of the new year, of this year, of 2015, will be Monday, December 21st. It is a holiday, so my usual update schedule is getting a little bit jumbled, so Mondays seem to be a good day for that. So yeah, I will have... the last shop update will be Monday, December 21st at, I haven't decided the time yet, but either 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just keep an eye on VoolenvineYarns.com. I always post shop update info at the top of the webpage or on the sidebar of the actual shopping section, just to keep you guys informed. So yeah, check that out. And I think I'm going to have one more shop update before then. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is my Gauge Intention Trunk Show. That's coming up. It's happening December 12th and December 13th, which is a Saturday and Sunday. I'm really excited to be coming back. It's always really fun getting to meet you guys in person and seeing Michelle and hanging out at Gauge Intention. It's definitely one of my favorite Brooklyn yarn shops. So hope you can make it. I will have a lot of holiday colorways, so if you want to stock up for next year, or if you feel like you can crank out a holiday gift, I will definitely have some Holly Jolly. I will have Special Snowflake and Deck the Halls on hand. So stop by. Would love to see you and meet you and hug you as I always do. So yay. Awesome. Okay. So, but yes, I will show you what I will have in the shop tomorrow. Let me just have some tea. Okay. Okay. So for tomorrow's shop update, I will have, this is a colorway that I have not dyed in a while, but I just was playing around in the dye pot and decided, let's bring it back. Mermania, which is this really cool blue, teal, green. It reminds me of the Caribbean for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, so yeah, Mermania will be in the shop. I will have some Jilted Rose in the shop on various bases. I will have, and this is not reskinned yet. This is looks kind of messy right now, but I will have some Octopus Garden in the shop. And I will have Deck the Halls. I will have some Mexican hot chocolate on various bases. This is it on Luft. I had some special requests for lace weight, so I don't have, I have to order more lace weight, but because it's winter, I'm not really stocking this as much. But yes, I will have it on lace weight. I will have it on Volca. Here it is on Volca. So there's that, and I will have Stellar Banshee, and of course I will have some fairy hair. Yay! And I actually got some sewing done yesterday, and I have some left. I had some remaining holiday fabric left, so I decided to just use up the rest of it and create some project bags. So here is just a regular sock, small project bag. It has a little snowflake progress keeper on it, and the inside has this really fun kind of, I don't know, it's just really holiday and fun. I don't know. Reminds me of like a champagne spritzer or something. I don't know. It's just so festive and bubbly. I don't know. I love it. So, so I have one in this size and it has a boxed bottom, and I have a larger bag. So these will be in the shop tomorrow. And I actually purchased some new interfacing, which is stiffer. So I know my previous bags, they were quite floppy, if you will, which I love. I love floppy project bags because that means I can just shove them in a purse and take them with me on the go. But I was toying around with some new interfacing, which has a lot more structure to it. So this can stand up on its own. And this will also have a charm on it as well, or a progress keeper, which I have to make. So, but yay, and the handle. Awesome. So I'm going to see if I can whip up some more project bags today when I have some time. But in the meantime, that is pretty much what will be in the shop. So hope you can make it. Again, tomorrow, the next shop update is going to be tomorrow, Saturday, December 5th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awesome. So that said, I'm going to move on to Blather and just give you like a little recap of what Dennis and I did on our break. So what was I going to say? Okay, yeah. So we spent Thanksgiving with Dennis's family. We drove down to Pennsylvania to visit my brother and sister-in-law, and they have our niece and nephew. So it was really wonderful to see them. And yeah, we just had, it was actually a relatively small gathering that we had, but the food was really lovely. And we just had a really nice time spending together with our family. And I have to admit, this is going to sound terrible to those who love the holiday, but if I'm being totally honest, I'm not a huge fan of Thanksgiving. It's not my favorite holiday. I really enjoy the fact that it gets the whole family together. I love spending time with my family. But I just don't like the idea of all the food that's involved. I can't eat that much food. I really don't enjoy the premise of like what the holiday is actually based on. If you know the whole history of the Pilgrims and the Native Americans, it's not a pleasant holiday, or the whole background about it is just not pleasant at all. Just a whole degradation of a whole entire culture. It's not happy. It's not a happy one. And yeah, I really don't look forward to it. And also, not only is it so much food, it's food that I'm not crazy about. While I do enjoy turkey and I enjoy, it's just every year it's the same thing over and over and over again. And I just kind of wish we could switch it up just a little bit. I mean, not like one year we do maybe not turkey or not cranberries, or I don't know. That's just me. So I apologize if I offended anybody, but that's just how I feel about the holidays. As I mentioned, I love Halloween and I love Christmas. But Thanksgiving is just not one of my holidays. I don't know. Call me crazy, but that's how I roll. But I did bake. I went onto Smitten Kitchen, which is a really wonderful food porn type of blog. And I've been following her blog for quite some time, for several years, and I've never made anything out of it. But recently, a lot of my friends have been making things out of it from her blog and her cookbooks, and it just looks so good. And I had apples and I had cranberries, and I was like, you know what, let's make something happen. And I Googled, the ingredients, and of course her blog came up. And I don't know, what did I do? I went to her blog specifically, and I typed in like apples and cranberries, and her apple cranberry crisp popped up, and I was like, I can't snap my fingers. I was like, done. So that's what I made, and I posted a photo of it on Instagram, and it turned out so delicious. And what I really loved about the recipe is that it wasn't sweet at all. I am not a sweet, I don't enjoy eating sweets. I don't like cake. The only type of sugary food that I really enjoy is ice cream. I really don't like sweets. I enjoy savory foods more so. But the recipe actually called for a lot of sugar, but in her side note, the author said that, if she were to make the recipe again, she would just totally omit the sugar altogether. It does call for brown sugar, and then it calls for white sugar, but she said to just totally omit the white sugar, which I did. And it came out quite tart, but still had that, nice subtle sweetness, underlying sweetness with the brown sugar. And I could totally see myself making it again and just enjoying it with like a scoop of ice cream. It turned out so well. So I will link to that in the show notes. And I know a lot of you have been asking me to start talking about cooking again and recipes. And I think I will. I will start doing that, because I am trying to, especially after this weekend, I definitely want to start cooking at home again, because I feel like we have been going out to eat way too much. Way too much for my taste. I mean, I do enjoy going out to eat, but this was just overkill in my opinion. Sorry, I had a little kitty cat who wanted to say hello. Say hi, Bella. What you doing? Are you excited for Christmas? Yeah? What you doing? But anyway, yeah, okay, I'll put you down. You don't like that. I wanted her to say hello. But anyway, we spent Thanksgiving with my brother and sister-in-law, and then we spent a Friday in Philadelphia because we had an engagement party that Saturday close by in the area. So we decided to make a whole weekend out of it. And so we spent, as I said, we spent Friday in Philly. We got a hotel, and we stayed at a hotel in the area, and we went to 2 museums, which was a lot of fun. We went to the Mutter, I can't really pronounce it right. People generally pronounce it the Mutter Museum, but I think it's the Mutter Museum. It has like the 2 dots over the U's. And it's an interesting, not for the, it's kind of a gruesome museum. They have a lot of skeletons, a lot of oddities, like medical oddities. That's kind of, I would liken it to Ripley's Believe It or Not, if you will. But they have like pieces of Einstein's brain. It definitely, like, well, that stuff typically fascinates me. I'm always curious about those type of things, but I think psychologically, like, even though I was so excited about it and just kind of reading all, the captions and everything and seeing everything in person, I was getting a little nauseous just staring at all this stuff, because it's not a pleasant thing to look at all. But if you watch that show, The Nick, I think it's on Cinemax, it's with Clive Owen, and it just goes back to, like what medicine was like in Victorian times, or just like the early, like the turn of the century. It was very gruesome. And I don't know why I'm fascinated by that stuff, but I am. But yeah, just seeing all that stuff in person was just very... I had to step out. I had to go into the lobby and just kind of get some air and collect myself. But after that, I went back in and we finished. It was a small museum, thankfully, but we went through the rest of the museum, and it was. I enjoyed it. If you can stomach it, don't go there on a full stomach. But it's definitely worth it's definitely worth checking out, I would say. But then after that, we went to another museum called the Barnes Foundation, which is a relatively new museum. But there was this collector. He was, just to give you a little brief history of it, he was a pharmacist and he invented some kind of vaccine. I'm totally blanking on what he invented. I think he cured blindness in infants. I could be wrong, but anyway, that's the whole backstory on it. And he came into a lot of money and he started getting into collecting art. And he collected really amazing works of art, Manet's, Monet's, Picasso's, Modigliani's, just so many. There was some Van Goghs. There was the famous one is The Postman, and it's just the way he curated everything. It was just such a mishmash, and there was no rhyme or he had a rhyme or reason to the way he laid everything out or displayed the paintings. But what was really odd is he kind of added or put his own spin on things with like these little emulets, or he took household like pieces of metal that you would find around the household, like door hinges or forks or something, and he created these little things to put on top of the paintings or the way he arranged them. It's very interesting. It was almost like creating a mixtape. Like he would collect all these works of art, brilliant works of art, and then kind of remix them, kitty, and then remix them, and just be it by music or it's just very, yeah. To give you an example, he had this German china closet, it was just like a china closet with dishes and glasses and. The reflection of the glasses was supposed to mimic the two paintings that were presented on either side of the china closet, and it's like I see where he was going with that, but why? So, but a very interesting exhibit. It was huge. It took us maybe like an hour and a half to go through one part of the gallery, and then I thought that was it. But wait, no, there was more. There was like a whole another floor, and it's something where I would have liked to have broken it up into 2 days. Like one day, see the first part of the gallery, come back the next day. It was just so much to take in, but at the same time, so lovely to see all those masterpieces in one place. And then we got out of the gallery just in time because we decided to meet up with our in-laws again. We met up with my brother-in-law and our sister-in-law and the kids. They came down to Philly. I believe they're only like a half an hour away from the city, so it was, relatively convenient for them to come down and meet us. And we had dinner again together. We went to this really fun restaurant. I think it was called the Marathon. It was called Marathon in Philadelphia. I don't know if whoever's been there, you probably have been there. And the food was really good. So it was great to see them again. Even though we saw them the previous night, we don't get to see the kids all that often. So that was really nice. And then Dennis and I went to, we just had like a little nightcap. There was a local bar, a local pub around the corner from our hotel. And we just grabbed a drink there. And then, we came back to our hotel, went to sleep, and then woke up. And then we had to go to an engagement party out in Jersey. So, yes, lots of events. So we did that. They had more food. It was at an Italian restaurant. So that was really fun. And then we, after that, we did a little, shopping errands. We went to Home Goods, we went to Wegmans and just stocked up for the week and just bought some stuff that we needed for the house. And so that was a nice little break. And then, but wait, there's more. The next day, more of Dennis's cousins, we had invited them over just to grab dinner because it's been a while since we've seen them. And they live in the city in Manhattan, and we obviously live in Brooklyn. So they just, since we visited them last time, they came out to us. They wanted to see the house. So yeah, we spent pretty much the entire morning cleaning because it's been a while. We actually deep cleaned everything, which needed to be done. So, but yeah, just when they came over, we hung out a little bit, and then we went out to eat again to this really nice restaurant in Bushwick. It was yeah, it was okay. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that restaurant. They had a very eclectic menu, nothing you could just point to and say, I know what that is. You had to have an explanation, and Anyway, but yeah, it was really nice getting together with them. Then the next day was Monday. As much as I love hanging out with family, as I mentioned, I'm an introvert and it burns me out sometimes. So yeah, we had a wonderful, wonderful holiday weekend. The next day, I think I was a little comatose. I had some orders that I had to package, but I just needed a day. I needed a day. I did some dyeing that day, but just the morning, I took off. Yeah, and I know, yeah. So, but anyway, it had to be done. And then, yeah, so my week has just been a little disjointed as far as, just trying to recharge, get stuff done, and, you can probably just imagine. But anyway, I feel like I'm rambling on way too long about this stuff. But anyway, happy Thanksgiving. But yeah, as I mentioned, I want to start cooking a lot more. Just, because it's winter and why not? It's cozy. I like the idea of just cooking more at home. And I have started to do that, especially this week, because I did not want to go out to eat again. Sorry, that was the mailman. Sadly, no fiber packages for me. Sad. But anyway, there's always tomorrow, right? So anyway, but yeah, I think that is pretty much it for this week. I mean, I was going to talk about, recipes that I cooked, but I will hold off on that until next week, I think, because I just feel like I've been talking for way too long right now and I've got work to do. So, yeah, I hope everyone had a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving and you're enjoying the holidays and you're getting lots of knitting done, and you're staying warm. So thanks so much for tuning in and watching. And as always, I love hearing from you. Hello, Kitty. Kitty says hello too, again. So, what was I going to say? Cats are such distractions, aren't they? But yes, I love hearing from you guys. So please feel free to leave me a note in the YarnGasm Ravelry thread. And I'm Voolenvine on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. And I apologize if you have messaged me on Ravelry and you have not heard back. I am terrible at keeping up with my Rav mail. But yes, I think the best way to reach me, or if you have a question, is to leave a note in the Ravelry group, or email me at voolenvineyarns@gmail.com. That's where I know I'll be sure to get your messages. So yes, otherwise, that said, happy knitting, and I will see you next time. Bye.